Protesters have flooded the streets of Iran for nearly 2 weeks. Demonstrations first kicked off late last month after the value of Iran's currency hit a record low. U.S.-based monitoring group human rights activist news agency says more than 2,000 people have been arrested and at least 42 people have been killed. The Iranian supreme leader said in a televised address, quote, "Last night in Tehran and a few other places, people came and did damage to their own buildings, ruining their own streets in order to make the president of another country happy," referring to President Trump. Earlier at the White House, the president said he's watching the situation closely.
I've made the statement very strongly that if they start killing people like they have in the past, we will get involved. We'll be hitting them very hard where it hurts. And that doesn't mean boots on the ground, but it means hitting them very, very hard where it hurts.
CBS News national security contributor Sam Vinograd joins us now. So, Sam, we've seen protest movements in Iran before. What's different this time?
Well, Iran is no stranger to protests. They have been omnipresent throughout Iran's history. What's different this time is in the first instance, where these protests started, shopkeepers or bazaris really started these protests almost 2 weeks ago in light of deteriorating economic conditions, in particular, a currency that's plummeting, inflation at about 42%, and just an overall decrease in purchasing power. The bazaris have historically been aligned with the administration. What is also different is just the footing the regime is on more broadly. Iran has suffered a series of devastating blows in the form of its war with Israel, strikes by the United States, loss of partners in Syria, detriments to its proxy forces around the world, and more. So it's a different operating environment than before. And certainly they know that President Trump has both the intent and capability to engage in direct military action in Iran if he so chooses. He's done it before.
What will the U.S. government take into account before it gets involved?
From what we know publicly, the administration is closely watching whether the Iranian regime resorts to the brutal suppression tactics that it's known for when it comes to protests. So certainly whether the regime and its security and intelligence forces engage in brutality against protesters, engage in brutality and even murder against prisoners, and just the overall repression tactics that have characterized how they have dealt with past protest movements.
There are reports that there are at least blockages, certain areas where internet is down or just cut off altogether. Is that something that typically happens in a fraught situation like this?
Well, the Iranian regime is going to use and has always used every tactic at its disposal to try to stop these protests from spreading. Social media is a powerful tool. Communication via the internet is a powerful tool and has mobilized individuals across Iran and other countries, certainly has mobilized individuals to join in protests and other kinds of activities. So Iran is doing everything possible to literally shut off the lights and shut off communications to try to get these protests to stop. But I just don't think that that's going to be a successful tactic in this environment, Lindsay.
Sam Vinograd, thank you.
Thanks.